What is going on, you guys? Nick here with another video. So I just got finished doing kind of a major repair job. I guess, first major repair job on the ZS-190. Before I get into that, I want to tell you what happened. I was actually out on a ride trying to make a video of just myself riding it and talking, and long story short, the audio was terrible. You're never going to see that video. I need to invest in a proper microphone to have while I'm riding. Anyway, I noticed my back brake was getting kind of weak, and it's never been great on this. I thought, okay, whatever, I probably just need to check the fluid or something like that. And I then noticed while I was on the, still recording, actually talking about how I haven't had any major issues with this, I was having trouble getting the bike into gear. And what ended up happening was I could not get it down into second or first gear, and I was having trouble getting it all the way up into fifth gear. It was like it wasn't indexing. So my first suspicion was like that shift star thing that people talk about. I'll put a link to a guy's video down in the description. And I have another full-length video of myself taking apart the case, taking this whole case off and pulling the clutch out and everything, and taking a look at the shift star. What it ended up being was the little bolt that holds in the shift star was completely loose. And so the little actuator, the gears couldn't index, basically. It couldn't reliably stay in any gear. And so that was fun. I limped it home about 5 miles and just parked it. I changed the oil and tried to test ride it again just to see if maybe that was it, if I used a weird oil. I did use a different oil than I normally use because they were out of what I normally buy, and I thought maybe the clutch was just slipping or something, but nope, it was the fact that that shift star was just not there. So check out that video. I will have a link to that video in the description where I did that repair. But back to the brake, the rear brake. So you'll see as we come down from the reservoir, we go into the, I guess this is the master cylinder for the rear brake. Yeah, it is. And then it's direct hydraulic connection back to the caliper. And I looked back and there was just brake fluid everywhere. I was like, oh my gosh, I've sprung a leak. I figured the leak would be somewhere up in here. What it actually was right here where this line kind of rubs on the plastic fender. It just rubbed through this soft, gummy Chinese plastic and tore it. So what I'm gonna do is find myself some braided steel lines and replace it. As far as the actual, the calipers go and the discs, they seem fine. You can lock up the rear wheels on this. You can stop it if you want to. No, I've not laid this bike over. It came to me like this, unfortunately, shipping scar. And then that's actually where the old exhaust, my terrible exhaust mod, fell down. Another thing I noticed is, let's see if this is still too hot to touch. I just got back from the test ride after fixing the transmission. Notice this is loose now. My welds broke. I'm not a welder, guys. I'm going to take it to a shop and have it fixed properly. You see there's oil everywhere. This has not been a super fun job, but I'm glad it was a simple, easy fix and not something much more sinister, because aside from the shift star, these engines tend to be fine. I think there's some issues with the starter and things, but I've not experienced that at all. And yeah. So then the other thing was, as it sat parked in the garage, it was warm this past week, and I started smelling gas fumes. And lo and behold, my gas tank is leaking. Now, when I first got this bike, I had a gas leak right off the bat. Up in there where the fuel sending unit is. You see that white rag shoved up in there? That's where it leaks. And I got some JB Weld stuff that's supposed to be resistant to fuel, and I put it all in there, and I pulled the tank out to do that, and it worked pretty well for, like 1,000 miles. So I didn't think anything of it, but I did initially open up a support case with the seller that I bought it from, And they sent me a new fuel tank, so I'm definitely going to be putting that on, but I think before I install it, I'm actually going to take it to a motorcycle shop and have them epoxy seal the entire inside as if it was like a rusted out fuel tank for a really old bike. Because basically the way it goes with these Chinese bikes is even though it's brand new, you have to treat it like it's a 50-year-old bike that you just bought. Yeah, so it's not been a super great week for the Chinese bike and the ZS-190. The lesson is check your bolts, check your fuel tank, check all the things regularly. I mean, obviously you could spring a leak in your brake fluid going down the road. Luckily I felt it quickly. I don't use my back brake super heavily, but I do use both brakes when I'm slowing down and braking to some extent. And the back brake is nice to hold you when you're at a stop. So definitely going to fix that. I'll probably install that replacement tank. If you want me to cover that in a video, like taking the tank off and all that, comment down below. Let me know that you want to see that, and I'll include a video on that. It's not really that hard to take the tank off, but I'll show you how to do it. Anyway, I guess I'm gonna sign off of here because I'm just rambling now. But thanks for watching. Don't forget to subscribe.